You're listening to Cross Currents from KALW News. I'm Hana Baba. Most of the people who've died from the coronavirus in the U.S. have been over the age of 65. So it's no surprise that Governor Newsom singled out the elderly when he first explained how the state is going to fight the spread of the virus 3 weeks ago. Until we find a vaccine, fighting the virus means isolation in most cases. And since research has shown that loneliness can also be deadly, what have seniors and their friends and supporters been doing lately to stay connected while staying safe? KALW Audio Academy fellow Sarah Lai Sterland reports.
Did you know that the Big Bang happened about 13.5 billion years ago? And that the closest major galaxy is 2.5 million light years away from us? That's a big picture perspective that 80-year-old Donald Antonakis Matuzan pondered recently during a phone conversation with his friend, Sejal Doshi. They were playing a game where Donald slides his finger across the top of the pages of his encyclopedia as Sejal counts to 5. When she stops, his finger stops.
So at random, I'd pick a section, a page, and on that page, I would read. If we don't like that page, we could choose a page ahead and a page behind. But what we cannot do is just open up the book to any subject we might be interested in.
It's a game that Donald and Sejal played together in a single-room occupancy studio in San Francisco before the shelter-in-place order.
This forces us to learn something new, even about a subject we aren't inclined to be interested in.
And now they're playing the game over the phone. Donald's used to a really social life.
So at the senior center, I took a dancing class, specifically hula, and then the humanist group, in which I made 5 presentations. Except for little brothers, they're all gone. I mean, that's a big minus in my life.
Little Brothers Friends of the Elderly is a non-profit in San Francisco. There's plenty of research showing that loneliness was epidemic in the Western world even before the current coronavirus crisis.
Isolation and loneliness is something that kills people. If you are socially isolated, you have a 5 to 7 years of mortality greater than somebody who is socially active.
That's Little Brothers Executive Director Kathy Mahalik.
It lowers your immune system. And when you lower your immune system, you can get different things wrong with you. You can have heart disease, diabetes, depression. The health effects is equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And look at the national outcry when we found out that smoking can kill.
The abrupt changes in the past few weeks are hitting the elderly particularly hard, Kathy says, and that's why Little Brothers is working to keep up the phone calls to the 414 seniors it serves in San Francisco. But that number's just a tiny fraction of all the seniors living in the Bay Area. The California Department of Aging estimates that almost 2 million seniors live in the region. About 20% of them live alone.
So for many individuals who weren't necessarily anxious before, their world has been upended.
That's Dustin Harper, the Institute on Aging's Chief Strategy Officer.
They're no longer able to go perform the same daily routines that they've performed for a long time. That creates a real dramatic change in their lifestyle and can lead to heightened concerns.
He says calls to the Institute on Aging's Friendship Line for Elders have doubled since the shelter-in-place order came down. Sally Saunders is an 80-year-old poet, and she's chafing under the order.
I'm very stressed. I don't feel like myself. I feel like I'm in a nightmare, and then I'll wake up in a minute and it'll all be over.
She lives in an assisted living facility and has her meals delivered to her. They're left in a bag on her door handle. Before the shutdown, she wrote a book of poems while vacationing on the Oregon coast with a friend. Now she's cooped up in her apartment, conducting her life through her computer.
I really like to go for nature walks. I can't do that. I like to travel. I can't do that. I can't see my friends. I can't hug my friends.
Last Tuesday, Governor Newsom announced that he was also trying to help by getting the state to partner with various nonprofits to make phone calls to seniors. The state also opened a COVID-19 telephone information line, and seniors can also call 211 for logistical help in their own neighborhoods. For his part, octogenarian Donald Antonakis Matuzin is doing the best he can. He's listening to public radio, texting with his friends, and working up the courage to go outside for a walk. He's also still chatting on the phone with his 32-year-old friend Sejal Doshi. Donald marvels that it was just a few weeks ago when they were sitting in his SRO listening to Russian composer Dmitri Shostakovich's Symphony No. 5. He was telling Sejal that this was a tune that his best friend whistled just before he died last fall. Donald misses sharing these stories in person.
It's like a dream now. Just think, Sejal was here and I was here, and we were listening to music here. What planet was that on? Beginning to feel like a dream.
It's a dream or a nightmare that he and others wish they could wake up from soon. For KALW in Los Gatos, I'm Sarah Lai Sterland.
Sarah Lai Sterland is a fellow in our 2020 Audio Academy. You can find more stories from the class of 2020 at kalw.org.